Hey y'all, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Happy New Year's, y'all. Happy New Year's. I don't know how you guys, if you guys celebrate, but Happy New Year's. Today we're going to be discussing how the strong woman wound is actually killing you. And I am getting my stuff together so that we can have this conversation. But come on in, like the live. Liking is clapping. Go ahead and like the live. Show me that you're here. Show me that you're excited for the new year. And then we can go ahead and start discussing how the strong woman identity is a performance, right? It's performative. And I'm going to break it down for you so that you can understand how it's performative and where in your life where you may be performing the strong woman when you don't have to. Performing the strong woman comes with a lot of risks. Being the strong woman comes with a lot of risk, comes with a lot of responsibilities that you necessarily don't have to take on. When you be the strong woman, you think these responsibilities that you have put on yourself is what you need to do, when in reality it's things that you have agreed to do willingly, and you don't have to. Whether that's a belief that you feel like you have to do it, or whether you just do it because it's second nature. But I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about how being the strong woman is very performative, and how it's not who you are, it's who you have become to survive. So we're going to discuss that today. Being the strong woman is who you have become to survive. It's who you have been conditioned to be to survive in this earth realm. So if you are a strong woman, or you consider yourself a strong woman, drop in the comments, I am a strong woman. I just want to see the poll of where we are if I'm speaking to my community. But strong women and being a strong woman is very performative. And I want to teach you how, or show you how it's performative and how it's killing you internally. A lot of us don't understand that being the strong woman, we use it as a flex. She's like, oh, I'm the strong friend, I'm the strong sister, I'm the strong mama, I'm the strong woman. We use it as a flex. But if you really break down the persona of the strong woman, it's a woman that lacks self-respect. It's a woman that, it's a woman that honestly don't believe in herself, that don't love herself. So when we break down the strong woman wound, when we break down the strong woman persona, we start to uncover a lot of things, and it's not really the flex that we think it is. Being a strong woman for me killed me internally so many times, because I thought I had to be everything and everyone to everybody. I thought if I didn't perform in this way, that people won't love me, they won't accept me, they won't want to be in my life, they wouldn't care about me. Until one day I woke up and I could no longer be the strong woman. I was emotionally drained. I was clinically depressed. I was having panic attacks every day. I had anxiety. I mean, the list go on. And that starts to show you how being a strong woman is not a personality trait. It's a facade that we put on to protect us. It's a facade that we put on that we was conditioned to believe this is what you need to be a good girl. This is who you need to become to be accepted. This is who you need to become to have people come into your life. When you start to break it down, if you come into my world and you go ahead and you follow me, you will start to notice how being the strong woman is such a persona that when you what's the word I'm looking for? When you kind of like uncover it, that's the word. When you uncover it, you start to look like, damn, this not the flex that I thought it was. Being the strong woman is not the flex that I thought it was. So today what we're going to be talking about is how the strong woman identity is performative. It's a performance. It's something that you were conditioned to do. It's like, you learn a play and you continuously replay that play in your head over and over and over. That's the same thing. You were somewhere in your childhood, you were taught to be the strong woman. You were taught, if I be strong, I get this. So now it has become a part of your identity, but it's not your personality. It's not a personality trait. So being a strong woman is very performative. I'm hoping today we could uncover that and you can see, because once you see, you can't unsee. So I'm letting you know right now, if you don't want to kind of see how being a strong woman has caused you to have a life that you don't desire. It has caused you to be disconnected from who you are and whose you are. It has caused you to be disconnected from your higher source. If you want to see that, if you want to see the correlation, then go ahead and stick around. But if you won't, I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and swipe on by, because once you know this information, you can't unsee it. Once I started to see being a strong woman was internally killing me, when I started seeing that being a strong woman was something that I was taught to be, when I started understanding that the strong woman wasn't who I was, it's who I became, and then I started to use it as a survival mechanism, because now I felt like, damn, I can't just stop being a strong woman, because these people in my life, that's who they know. And if I stop being a strong woman, they're going to go. They're going to leave, and then I'm going to be by myself. See, strong women have this innate fear of being alone. Strong women have this innate fear of people being in their life that won't be there for them. So they overperform, they overdo in hopes that what they do for people, it will be returned to them. I'm gonna let you sit on that. I'm gonna let you sit on that for a moment. But the first thing that we have to do is understand how you became the strong woman. We got to get clear on that. We can't just jump from, oh, I'm the strong woman, oh, I need to heal the strong woman. No, we got to get clear. Awareness in my world is really important, because once you are aware, you can correct. Once you are aware, you can challenge. Luna, get out of there. Once you are, sorry, that's my cat. Once you are aware, you can challenge the behavior, you can challenge the personality, you can challenge the persona. You can, when it starts to show up, you can say, we're not doing that no more. But when you're not aware, that shit just goes through. It's like automatic. It's autopilot. A lot of us are strong women on autopilot. It's not intentional. It's just we were taught to be this way. We were taught if I be this person, people will accept me. People will love me. You know, if I be the strong woman, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is who I'm supposed to be the strong woman. You know, this is who I'm supposed to be. They told me to do that. That's the good girl in me, right? So the first step in how to become the strong woman is we gotta look at childhood patterns. Everybody don't want to look at childhood. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to go to the past. I don't want to live in the past. Well, we live in the past every day, because your personality, who you are, your actions, your beliefs are accumulation of your past. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. So when we say I don't want to live in the past, sometimes it flabbergasted me, because we are. But we have to go there to extract information. The past is supposed to be used as a library. It's supposed to be used as a library. Now, are you supposed to take everything that you learned and keep on and keep those same behaviors from the past? Absolutely not. But it is a library if you learn how to use it effectively. Just like if you go to the library, it's millions of books. Most of us don't even know how to use our library effectively. We don't know the resources. We don't know the good information. We don't know all the books they have, the learning that we could get. We don't know any of that. We just go there with one thought pattern. Oh, I need to go get this book, and we out of there. But if you actually go to the library and you actually sit down with the librarian and you get your library card, it's so many resources that we didn't even know. And that's the same thing with learning how to become someone anew. You can't become someone anew until you understand who you are currently right now. Why am I this way? Because you can't change something if you're not willing to understand it and see it. You can't change something until you understand why it's there and who implants it there, so that you can be able to associate when that comes back up, because it will. So the first question that we're going to do is we're going to talk about is childhood patterns. Who taught you to be strong? Who taught you to be a strong woman? And what I'm learning with my years of research when it comes to strong women is most times strong women are eldest daughters. And you learn how to be the strong woman from the matriarch in your family, whether that's a grandma that raised you, whether that's a mother that raised you, an auntie that raised you, whatever. You were taught to be the strong woman most times by witnessing strong women, and you thought, that is who I'm supposed to be. Or they taught you, hey, this is what a woman is. This is what a woman is. When you think about, especially us as black people, when you think about our aunties, when you think about our grandmas, when you think about our mothers, most of them are strong women because they were taught to be strong. Thank you for the live, Ganesh. They were taught to be strong. They were taught they had to hold the world on their shoulders. They were taught that they couldn't let the mask slip. They were taught they had to perform 24/7. They were taught that they had to control each and everything. All the pieces on the chessboard had to be in their hand. They were taught they had to be 10 steps ahead. And it looks beautiful from the outside looking in, but you don't know how many nights they closed that door and they fell apart. You know how many nights they prayed, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm so exhausted. I'm burnt out. You don't know how many nights they don't sacrifice their happiness, their pleasure, their peace for the sake of holding it together. For the sake of, oh, my family depends on me. For the sake of the world depends on me. So then we learn from the outside looking in that this is what a woman's supposed to be. She's supposed to have it all together. She's supposed to hold it on her shoulders. She's supposed to be the strong woman. She's supposed to be the strong friend, the strong sister, the strong daughter. We rarely seen our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmas, our aunties fall apart. We rarely see them choose themselves. Show me a black woman is very small, minimum. Show me a black woman, a strong black woman that everybody call, that has chosen herself. It's very rare because we wasn't taught that. A lot of strong women were conditioned to be that way. We looked at other people that raised us behavior and we thought, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is my role model. But like I said, you can't look at one piece of the puzzle, because just because you see mama and grandma and auntie show up and be the strong woman don't mean you don't see them fall apart behind closed doors. Because trust me, they have fell apart time and time again. They have been the strong woman on a wing and a prayer. They had no other choice. But what I like to say is I don't want their behavior and who they was to go in vain. I got a choice. I have a choice. And I learned that. That I have a choice. And I'd be damned if I believe that I don't have a choice, because I do. The second thing, what got you? What do you get from being a strong woman? A lot of us don't be the strong woman because, it's just a conditioning. Let's break it down a little bit. Let's get real deep with it. A lot of us are the strong woman because we are getting something from being the strong woman, whether you believe it or not. Whether that's love, whether that's attention, whether that's value, whether that's confidence, whether that's bragging rights, whatever it is, you're receiving something. Even if it's temporary, even if it's a flute, you're receiving something. You're receiving something to give you that, this is working, or I should keep going. That falsehood of they accept me. That falsehood is they love me. That falsehood is, oh, they're giving me attention. That falsehood of, oh, I have value. So we're getting something from being the strong woman. For me, I had learned to love not the attention per se, but the way that people depended on me. I felt needed in my life. That's why a part of me, why I felt that I need to be the strong woman. I felt needed, and sometimes it feels good to be needed until it doesn't. Sometimes it feels good to be needed until it doesn't. Until it does not feel good. But for me, it was more so about I felt needed. I felt seen. I felt like, oh, these people see me. They accept me. They love me. So I continued on being the strong woman. I continued on being the strong friend. I continued on doing things that was against my morals and values. I continued on doing things that was against who I am or who I want to become. What are you doing? What are you doing? So what do you get? And I want you to get your pen and paper because this information, these questions I'm going to ask you, I always ask you questions that's going to get you thinking, that's going to get your rails thinking, because I believe that you're smart enough to figure this puzzle out. You don't need me for that part. So the first one is your childhood patterns. Who taught you to be the strong woman? You got to get clear. Whether it was auntie, whether it was grandma, whether it was mother, who taught you to be the strong woman? Whether it was it directly or indirectly? Did they teach you with words? Hey, you have to be the strong woman. Hey, this is what you're supposed to do. Or you learn by looking at their actions, which was indirectly. Who taught you to be the strong woman? That's the first thing. Who taught me to be the strong woman? Because you got to be able to extract from that. Who taught you to be the strong woman? Write it down. The second one is what you got from it. We got to be honest. We wasn't just in being a strong woman just because for the sake of, oh, I'm a strong woman. No, you were getting something from it. Whether that was attention, whether that was love, whether that was value, whether that was the feeling of being needed and wanted. What did you get from it? Write that down. Write that down. And a lot of times, strong women has this big energy of pride. I can do anything. I can handle it all. Go ahead. I can do it all by myself. Don't worry about it. I got it. Strong women have big pride energy. And it's such a detriment because the pride is a part of the reason why you can't uncover the strong woman wound. I should have flipped it. That should have been the first thing, because the pride is the reason why you can't uncover your strong woman wound, why you can't understand the detriment of it, because you believe that it's who you are. And when you start coming for who people are, baby, they start to become defensive. So I'm ready to receive that aggressive feedback. But I want you to understand the reason why you can't see the detriment, the real detriment in being the strong woman, is because most times your pride is covering that wound. I can do anything. Oh, this is just who I am. I can handle everything. I can handle all things by myself. I can do bad. That's why strong women have a hard time accepting help and assistance, because we think we could do it all by ourselves. We don't need nobody. How dare you come in here and tell me you can help me? I don't need your help. That's exactly how strong women act. They can handle anything until you can't. So I'm not persuading you, especially if you're not at that state of I can't do this anymore. Because one thing I have learned over the years is telling a strong woman that believes she could handle anything, that she could do bad all by herself, that she don't need nobody, trying to persuade that woman that accepting assistance and it's okay to be vulnerable and state that, hey, I need help. It's okay to put the cake down. It's okay to understand that you don't have to be the strong woman 24/7. Telling that to the person that's not ready to hear that, a strong woman will shut you completely out. Oh, they do that well. Avoidance is a very big part of this. Avoiding who you are. Avoiding your desires, your pleasures, for the sake of acceptance, for the sake of love, for the sake of, and this is a falsehood, because we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna go that far real quick. I'm gonna give it a moment. All right, and now we're gonna be talking about the next state, the signs that being the strong woman, that the identity of being the strong woman is killing you, because I know it killed a part of me a long time ago. It did. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually, I'm talking about emotionally, I'm talking about mentally. Being a strong woman killed me emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I tried to hold the world on my shoulders day in and day out. I thought that I had to be everything and everybody to everybody in my life. I thought if I didn't do this, if I didn't hold this persona, that people won't love me, they won't accept me, they won't be here for me. Until one day I physically could not be the strong woman anymore. I was depressed. I had OCD. I had a panic disorder. I had anxiety every day. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't want to be here anymore. So when I talk about it physically and emotionally and mentally killed an aspect of myself, and I felt lost without her, that sucked me into a rail. Not oh, this and that. No, it was when I couldn't physically be the strong woman anymore and I felt lost. That is what sent me in a rail. Because if I'm not the strong woman, then who am I? I lost so many relationships, so many friendships when I stopped being the strong woman. When I stopped being a strong friend, I learned so much about myself and other people. Absolutely, I learned so much. When I was going through my darkest seasons, the people that I would bend over backwards for, the people I would answer on the first ring, the people I would text and check on, the people I would love to infinity, those people I didn't even hear from because I wasn't giving it anymore. Our relationships was transactional. And when I couldn't physically, emotionally, and mentally give anymore, they disappeared. That was the hardest thing to learn, that people only loved me for what I could give and what I could do for them. And I had to take responsibility for that, because that's the way that I performed in my relationships. I came to the table with, this is what I could do, this is how I could give, this is how I could perform for you. That is what I did. So I had to take a certain level of accountability. But boy, was I shocked. Boy, was I shooketh to my core. Not only did I grieve the aspect of me that I lost, but I grieved the idea of these relationships that I had in my head that wasn't the way it was. And I had to ask myself, did you make these relationships up? Did you make up that they loved you, girl? It really sent me in a whole crisis mentally. And that's one thing about being the strong woman. You have a whole bunch of relationships in your life that's only transactional. Show me a strong woman that's performing being the strong woman in her life, that have substantial relationships, stable relationships, that's not transactional. Show me a strong woman that stopped being the strong woman and have people in her life pour into her. Show me. Show me that. Because I don't want to say it's impossible, but when you come to a relationship in the energy of, this is what I could do for you, you come to a relationship with, I could give you this, I could perform this, that person and you are not truly in a relationship, not in a friendship. They're in a relationship, in a friendship with what you can do, how you can give. How you can give to me. And when you can't physically give anymore, when you mentally can't give anymore, when you emotionally can't give anymore, that same person that you thought was in it for the long run disappeared. And that was something that hurted me the most. That was something that hurted me. And that's crazy because I was depressed. I was clinically depressed, had OCD, had depression, had anxiety, had a panic disorder. But what really sucked me for the loop, what really hurt me to my core, that shook me, was that the relationships and the friendships that I poured into year after year, that I showed up for, that I bend over backwards for, those very same people didn't give two fucks about what I had going on. Not a, hey, how you doing? Not a, hey, you need anything? Not a, hey, what's going on? I haven't heard from you. Not a peep, not a letter in the mail, not a nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I had to understand that. And that was the way that I knew when I was becoming depressed, when I was having anxiety, panic disorders, I was waking up out my sleep to answer phone calls. I mean, I had no fucking boundaries, no self-respect, no self-love. I abandoned myself every freaking day for these people, right? And I had to take accountability for that. I abandoned myself every day for these people. I mean, I had no self-respect. I had no boundaries for myself. None whatsoever. I allowed people to walk over me day in and day out. I allow my damn door to be a revolving door. People coming in and out whenever the fuck they feel like it. Doing whatever they feel like it. And I had to look at it that my body was screaming. Anxiety, depression, panic. My body was physically screaming, hey, we can't do this no more. You gotta stop. You have to stop. There was a study that I read that said women they have the highest level of autoimmune diseases. And I started to think, the reason why a lot of women deal with autoimmune diseases is because the suppression. It's because the strong woman wound. You think you got to be strong for everybody, and you don't. You are exhausted, but you feel like you can't stop. Isn't that crazy? This person done called you every day this week with a problem. Every day this week, they done text your phone with a problem. Every day this week, this person done reached out to you, not a hey, how you doing, but just to dump on you, trauma dump on you, tell you they problems. You go to work and you overperform. You overperform in your friendships, in your relationships. You do the top of the top. And you are physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted, but you can't stop. Because you believe these traits are who you are. If I stop, what would happen? The fear of that is what keeping you going, even though the tire been gave out. Since the tire blown 40 miles ago. But you still going. You still going. If I stop, I don't know, maybe I'll wreck. If I stop, maybe something bad will happen to me. If I stop, will this car flip over? The fear is what's keeping you going. The fear is what's keeping you going on a nud, even though the tire been gave out 40, 50 miles ago. The fear is stopping you. The fear of it all. And a part of you feel like a fraud. Whether that's something that's new that's starting to come, but a part of you feel like a fraud. Because you know this is not who you are. You know that you are performing. You know this is not, because you feel the conviction. You feel the oh my God, you know, you feel it in your soul. And me and my husband, we got this funny word where we say in your shanana, which is supposed to be your soul, the depths of your soul. You feel that. You feel the indifference. You feel the conviction. You feel it. That, hey, this is, something ain't right. But you continue on being the strong woman because you believe that is the only way that you can show up in the world and be accepted and loved and respected and honored and cared for. You made yourself believe that. A part of you made yourself to believe the only way that you can survive and be of this world is if you continue to be the strong woman. You continue to put that cape on. So day in and day out, a part of you feel like a fraud. Because you know that is not who you are. And if you don't know that's not who you are, you feel the conviction. You feel the indifference. You feel the tug of war. You feel it. So when people talk about exhaustion and burnout, you feel that. That's why it's burnout. That's why it's exhaustion, because you're going against your innate part of yourself. You're going against who you truly are to honor the world. You're going against who you are for the fact of acceptance and validation. Let's sip on that. Your relationships are only transactional. People, and this is going to hurt you the most, so I just need you to sit down for a moment, because they hurted me the most. As a strong woman, a recovering strong woman, this part hurted me the most. People only love what you do for them. The relief you give them. The way that you hold them back from responsibility and accountability. People love what you do for them, not who you are. Your relationships are very transactional. It's transactional. Today, I want you to stop for the next 72 hours. Stop doing for people and come back and tell me if those same people are around. Have you heard from them? People only love what you do for them. I want you to understand that, especially if you came to the relationships from the sake of what you can do. This is why I don't play a lot of victim games. I don't say, oh, it's their fault. I think we share responsibility. But the most important thing in my world is taking accountability and responsibility, because that's where my power is. A part of you know that people only love what you can do for them. A part of you know. A part of you know that. And you have continued to do it because it feeds you in a way, whether it's good or bad. It feeds you in a way. So you continue to do so. You continue to show up by what you could do for people, because you know that's the only way that you could be accepted, loved, and validated. But that's a miserable life to live. And that's why women are burning out. That's why people are having exhaustion. That's why you are tapping out. You don't want to be here. You mentally unwell. You physically unwell. You emotionally unwell. Because all you do is perform from the day you wake up, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. You do this over and over and over. It's a cycle over and over and over and over. No wonder you are exhausted. No wonder you are burnt out. No wonder you are having physical manifestations, which for me was anxiety, depression, OCD, panic disorder. You are physically feeling the manifestation of this car is about to wreck. All right? You don't know who you are without the cape. You don't know who you are without being the strong woman. Who am I? You don't know who she is. And sometimes that's scary. Damn, Lala, I don't know who she is. Who am I? What do I love? What do I want? What brings me pleasure? What makes me happy? You don't know these things. So you continue to go back to what's familiar. You become complacent of a life that's a dull. You become complacent of a life where you're being overworked, overasked for, because you're afraid of being curious, because you're afraid of that feeling that you feel, which I felt. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. That was one question I had to look at. I said, I don't know who I am without this cape. I don't know who I am without being the strong woman. I don't know who I am without being the strong mom, the strong friend, the strong sister, the strong daughter. I don't know who I am. And that set me in a loop. At my overgrown age, I didn't know who I was. And that is what keeps you in the same cycle. That unfamiliar feeling, that moment of fear, that moment of, wait a minute, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are without being the strong woman. You don't know who you are without being the strong friend, without being the strong sister, without being the strong mother. You don't know who you are without these things. But when it comes to that, that is where we have to be so curious. And we have to be willing to face the fear of it all. You have to be willing to face the fear of it all. The only way through is through this. There is no way that you can try to avoid the uncomfortable feelings, the grief, the sadness, the confusion, the fear. There is no way that you can avoid these things. None whatsoever. And I think that's what keep women on the same journey, because it's something that's familiar. You keep showing up as a strong woman and you continue being exhausted and burnt out. And now you with it as a plaid. The strong woman, the strong friend. Oh, I'm burnt out. I'm my burnout season. Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm overworked. That's not a badge of honor. A woman that can't ask for what she desires, a woman that can't stick up for herself, a woman that can't love herself, a woman that can't respect herself enough, that's not a badge of honor. And when I started seeing that we were making it a badge of honor to be the strong woman, I'm like, wait a minute, do people know what the strong woman persona entail? And that's why I started to understand that, oh, I need to get up here and start educating. Because being a strong woman to me signals someone that lacks self-respect, that abandons herself over and over, that has been taught that. Being a strong woman is a survival mechanism, it's a trauma response. Being the strong woman is a trauma response. It's not who you are, it's who you learn to be to survive in this crazy ass world. It's who you was conditioned to be, whether it was from a mother, whether it was from whatever. It's usually the matriarch that has taught us to be the strong woman because that's the only way we get respect, which is wild to me. That is wild to me. That is wild to me. I'm writing this down. Hold on. But yeah, we were taught by the matriarchal women in our lives. Like I said, whether it's a grandma, whether it's a sister, whether it was an auntie, whether it was a great grandma, whatever. It doesn't even. It don't have to even be in the same family. You could be a friend that raised us. It doesn't matter. The matriarch has taught us that being the strong woman is the only way that we get respect in this world. Because how dare you be a woman and you don't hold it on your shoulders? How dare you be a woman and you don't perform? How dare you be a woman and you don't denounce what it is that you desire? How dare you be a woman and you don't lead with your pleasure? How dare you be a woman? So the matriarch taught us this. Oh, this is real good. The matriarch taught us this. Well, I'm about to sneeze, y'all. Hold up. Oh, all right, hold on, y'all. So the matriarch taught us to be the strong woman. That's why it's important to learn how to get that wound and detract that wound. Because if you don't understand where you taught to be, where you were taught that behavior, if you don't understand where that behavior come from, sometimes it's easy for it to come back in. Once again, write that down. The matriarch taught you that being a strong woman is the only way that you get respect in this world. And these are some things that you may not want to hear. Being the strong woman is a costume. All right now. Being the strong woman is a costume. It's not your truth. It's not who you are. It's not who you was meant to be. Being the strong woman is a costume. It is not your truth. It's not who you are. It's not who you was meant to be. I'm sorry. Not sorry. We got to understand that. We can't go nowhere until you understand that being the strong woman is not who you are. If I ask you who you are, and the traits that you name is of a strong woman, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. Being a woman doesn't automatically make you be the strong woman. It doesn't. That's not a responsibility. It's not something that you're supposed to do. They made you feel that way, but I'm sorry. You're grown. You're a grown woman. You can make your own decisions. You could denounce it at any moment. You can say, you know what, enough is a fuck enough. You can say, you know what, this is not what I want anymore. Can we start thinking about how many strong women are unsatisfied? How many strong women are unhappy? How many strong women are depressed? Autoimmune diseases. How many strong women are going through a life of fucking hell just for the crumbs for the world to give you. You are accepting crumbs, even though you perform at 110 every fucking day. You go to work and you overperform. You at home, you overperform. You in your relationships, you overperform. Every day. You are showing up, giving it your 110%, even though you ain't even got it. But you accept crumbs. You accept crumbs. You accept disrespect. You accept the bare minimum. How dare you? You accept the bare fucking minimum. And you give 110% and you know you do. You know you do. This is deeper than self-care. This is deeper than rest. Your exhaustion and your burnout is not because you need rest and you need to relax. That's actually the opposite. When you are exhausted and when you are burnt out, we have to start doing an audit. We have to figure out, where are you having energy leaks? Where are you giving your energy where you're not receiving and being reciprocated? That's the first step. It's not about you going to go lay down and get some sleep. You going to, cut the world out for 2 weeks because you need to rest because you burnt out. That's not going to help you. That's not the answer to your burnout. That's not the answer to your exhaustion. The answer is we have to start patching up where the energy leaks are in your life. We have to figure out, where in your life are you fucking performing? Where you're doing all of the wrong things. Where you're not in alignment with your soul desire. We have to figure out, where in your life are you not in alignment with your soul desires? Where are you leaking energy? Where are you being in relationships, friendships, familyships, whatever, that's not being reciprocated? Where? And we got to extract them from the root. Extract them from the root completely. When you start to patch those up, extract those roots, when you start to be real intentional on who you give your energy to, when you start to be real intentional on finding out who you are, pour it into yourself, being devoted to your journey, being devoted to your joy, your happiness, your peace, when you start doing those things on a consistent basis, you start to feel that the exhaustion and burnout was a symptom. It wasn't the disease. The disease was you being the strong woman. The sickness was you being the strong woman. And the symptom was the burnout. The symptom was the exhaustion. That's why a lot of people that try to, when you go to the doctors and they give you this pill, I'm going to give you this pill to take care of your nausea. But they're not going to the root of the problem. So you find yourself dependent on these pills because they're not really uncovering what is causing this symptom. What is causing the burnout? What is causing the exhaustion? We have to figure that out. You just say you burnt out and you exhausted and you going to sleep. That's not going to help you. Being burnt out and exhausted, the answer is not more rest and self-care, unfortunately. All right. Uh-oh. I think I'm getting too honest, y'all. Drop it in the comments now. This is about asking yourself, who am I without the performance? This is about asking yourself, who am I without the performance? If I stop doing this, if I stop being this, if I stop giving this, who am I? That's the question. Who are you without being the strong woman? Who are you without performing? Who are you? Who are you? And that question is going to send you on a journey of self-discovery. It's going to, if you're willing to stick with the uncomfortableness of not knowing in the moment, if you're willing to stick with the, I don't know, if you're willing to be honest and say, hey, Lala, I don't know who am I without being the strong woman. I don't know who am I without being the mother, without being the sister, without being the daughter. I don't know who am I. If you're willing to admit that, if you're willing to be aware of that, if you're willing to stick with the uncomfortableness of that, and you allow that journey to unfold the way that it needs to unfold, you will learn how to discover who you are. You will learn. But you got to be willing to let the shit go. You got to be willing to put the cake down. You got to be willing to put the performance down. You got to be willing to lose some relationships. You got to be willing to lose some friendships. You got to be willing to lose some people. Even yourself. You got to be willing to do that. Allow the journey to unfold the way that it needs to unfold. And you're going to find out very quickly down the road who you are, what you want, what you desire. You'll start to understand and become aware of who you truly are on the cellular level. Not what they told you to be. They told me to be a good girl. They told me to be a strong woman. This is who I was taught to be. No, not what the world told you to be, but who you are on a cellular level. There's a lot of women that has denounced who they are. There's a lot of women that perform every single day, 24/7. A lot of women that don't know who they are. A lot of women that's living a life without pleasure, without peace, without happiness, without joy. For the sake of the world told women, that's not what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be the good girl. You're supposed to take care of the home. You're supposed to wear everything on your sleeve. You're supposed to, you're supposed to just act like ain't nothing. You good to go. You're supposed to take care of the job. You're supposed to go and work 40, 50 hours a week. Come home, take care of the kids. Go to sleep, do it over again. You're supposed to be the one that everybody depend on. Because you're the matriarch. That's what you're supposed to do. Y'all know over here, I don't give a fuck about what you're supposed to do. What you want to do. What you desire to do. That's the rebellion. That's the rebellion. That's the rebellion. Going against what they told you to be. Find out who you are. Willing to discover who you truly are. And this is what I call identity reconstruction. And this is the work that we do in my tribe, in my community, in my world. We do identity reconstruction. We do a lot of identity work. It may not seem like we're doing it, but in the long term, you'll understand that that's what we're doing. Because we got to learn how to reconstruct your identity. We have to learn that identity reconstruction, because a lot of people think, oh, I got to just denounce everything. I'm not a mama. I'm not a this. I'm not. No, we got to learn how to reconstruct who you are, who you want to be. How far is the bridge from who you are and who you want to be? How far is that bridge? How do we get here? What are some steps that we could do to get here? How can we step into this energy? How can we let this person go? She has served her purpose up until this point. She has served her purpose up until this point. She has given it her all. I'm so thankful for the Strong Woman Cape. She has allowed me to make it to this point. She has allowed me to wear a persona. She has allowed me to hide from the world. She has allowed me to do things that I may have not been able to do. The strong woman, I had to thank her for her service. But I had to go ahead and let her go. I had to let her go for the sake of who I'm becoming. I had to let her go for the sake of who am I becoming. I had to. I had to let her go. Because I understood that in order for me to have the life of my dreams, and see, the crazy thing about it is strong women are dreamers. You lay up at night and you think about the life that you can have. You lay up at night and think about the desires. Sometimes you try to stop yourself from dreaming, but strong women are dreamers. We have like big dreams. Strong women are dreamers. And if you just allow yourself to dream bigger, if you just allow yourself to dream more, if you just allow yourself to do that, you will start to feel the conviction, because God is telling you that, hey, who you are and who you want to be are totally different. There's a gap there that you got to be willing to discover. There's a gap there that you got to be willing to say, you know what, something not right. You're going to have to be able to let go of the strong woman persona to understand who you're becoming, who you want to be, who God ordained you to be. But first, you got to be comfortable. You got to be okay with being uncomfortable. You got to be okay with understanding that when you put that strong woman cape down, you feel naked. Emotionally, mentally, physically. You feel naked. You feel hurt. You grieve who you used to be. You grieve the relationships that you used to have. You grieve who you thought you were. You grieve. You got to be okay with being naked. You got to be okay with being vulnerable. You got to be okay with saying, you know what, I don't know. You got to be okay with saying, you know what, I don't know what the next moment look like, but I trust. You got to be okay with saying, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where this journey is taking me, but I'm willing to experience the journey. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to cost me more to stay here. It costs me more to stay in this position. It costs me my happiness. It costs me my peace. It costs me my joy. It costs me my pleasure. It costs me my desires. The things that you are destined for. The things that you are so worthy of. It costs you those things. So I also want you to write this question down before I go ahead and wrap this up. What is being the strong woman costing me? And be honest. Don't say it's not costing me anything. No, what is it costing you for real? Because being the strong woman cost me my peace. It cost me my sanity. It cost me my peace of mind. It cost me who I am. It cost me my relationships. It cost me my joy, my peace, my desire, and my pleasure. It cost me a hell of a lot. And then add tax. Because I'm sure there's some things that I didn't mention, that I didn't write down. So on your paper, what is being the strong woman costing me? What is it costing you? What is it costing you? Because I'm sure if you go in the store and there's something that you go into the store to buy, let's say you go in the store, you expected to spend $50. And the thing that you need costs $200. Hello? You are in a deficit. You are in a deficit. Being a strong woman is costing you too fucking much. Being the strong friend, the strong sister, the strong whatever is costing you too much, and you don't got it. You don't got it. You do not. I need to get real close with you. You don't got it. You've been in a deficit for God knows how long. You've been running on E for God knows how long. You've been running on your tire that went out, like I told you earlier, 50 miles ago. You don't got it. You don't got it. So now it's on you to say, you know what? That's absolutely correct. Being the strong woman is costing me things that I don't have. You don't got it. And you don't have to do it anymore. You don't have to be this person anymore. You can put the cape down. You can allow yourself to put it down. You are at your breaking point. And I want you to acknowledge that. I want you to be real with yourself. You ain't got to tell nobody else. Go in the mirror, because that's how my spiritual waking up began. When I went in the mirror and I told myself, I'm at my breaking point. I can't take no more. Enough is a fuck enough. This is it for me. When I went in the mirror, see, that mirror work is so powerful. When I went in the mirror and looked myself in the mirror and said, you know what, I'm at my breaking point. If you have now acknowledged, after we done had this whole conversation, you have now acknowledged that you are at your breaking point, I want to invite you to my webinar called The Breaking Point. It's going to be on January 11th, 2026. Yes, today is January 1st. It's going to be on January 11th, 2026. I want you to go to the link above, attached to my profile, and sign up. It's $97 for 90 minutes. And we're going to break down the strong woman wound so good. We're going to give you actionable steps that you can take to start to understand, hey, this is how I can start healing this wound. I'm going to show you how to take your breaking point and turn it into your breakthrough, which will inevitably turn into your blessing. I'm going to take you through being at the breaking point to going to your breakthrough that will inevitably lead to your blessing. But you got to first be willing to understand that you're going to have to get uncomfortable in this journey. If this is something that you desire, this is something that if you're at your breaking point, if you're at that point where you can't take no more, if you're at that point you just don't know, you're at that point, I don't know how to do this. I'm aware, I don't know how to do it. Join us. Join us. I encourage you. I would like for you to consider joining us. And also, I want to lead you with this. I have a book that's called When the Valley Speaks. When the Valley Speaks is a 60-day devotional. It's written as a devotional. It's inspirational. And it takes you through daily inserts that guides you and supports you through the valley of life. This book that I have, which is called When the Valley Speaks, it really helps you understand how to take the hard part of life and allow it to speak to your soul. Because some of us become so deaf because we are so heartbroken. We are grieving. We are depressed. We are lost. And this book is supposed to be used as guidance. It's supposed to be used as something that can nurture you, that can support you, that can walk you through the journey, that's going to walk beside you. It gives you daily inserts, 60 days. I want you to go to my profile and purchase your book. And then come back and tell me what you feel. All right now. Why did I do this, y'all?